and Shannon Sharp. It is Monday, and we got a lot to talk about. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
What is that? I can't.
You see what it is? Yeah, I hope it don't Luke. Luke come to play a gig with me.
I thought your restaurant was only for losers. And that's why LeBron went on Saturday night, because he had 8 more turnovers and 5 more missed free throws. I'm like, what are you doing, King?
And a 38,
what's wrong with you?
38 and 12.
Against a team that's 35 and 39 that doesn't even belong in the playoffs?
Don't do that, Skip.
At least the Clippers are playing a real basketball team with real stars.
Oh, real, huh?
Trustable stars.
Real.
As opposed to lame Dame. I don't know.
Lame Dame.
Yeah. Here we go.
Harsh.
Y'all see where he going with this already.
Oh, now I know. A lot to get to. We will discuss LeBron, but I would like to start with Luka and Kawhi and exactly what happened there. The Clippers jumped out to a 21-point first-half lead yesterday against the Mavericks, only to see it slowly slip away. Dallas went on a 16-0 run in the third quarter to take the lead, and LA had to fight back to force overtime. A Marcus Morris three-pointer gave the Clippers a 1-point lead with under 10 seconds remaining, and that was good. But Luka Doncic responded with a step-back 3 at the buzzer to take the win and even the series at 2 games each. Shannon, what was the biggest reason the Clippers lost this game?
They can't stop Luka. It's a conga line to the basket. I mean, they cannot stop Luka. And I know everybody's going to make up about the last possession and how Reggie Jackson got switched on Luka. But he only got 3 points on that one.
Who's going to make that?
Whoa,
Is that a Twitter thing or what? I don't know.
You going to let me talk or you
I don't know.
Well, go ahead.
I'm just cross-examining.
Go ahead. You should go.
Everybody's going to say?
Go ahead.
No, go.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
No, go.
No, go ahead.
I'm
Go
just
ahead.
asking
No,
a question.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, it's your turn. I want to hear
I'm
all
good.
the stuff that you have to say.
No, go ahead. I'll go after you. Go ahead.
Seriously?
Yeah.
You're going to pout and we're just barely starting the show?
I'm making a point, and then you cut me off.
You said everybody. I want to know who everybody is.
Well, when it's your turn, you can say who everybody was. How about that?
Well, you interrupt me all the time and say, how can you say that, or what do you say?
Go ahead.
Seriously?
I'm good.
Oh, this is childish.
Go ahead.
Okay, I will go. The last shot of the game was a 1,000,000-to-1 shot by a terrible three-point shooter and a terrible clutch three-point shooter who was 0 for 10 in the last minute of regulation games or overtimes during the regular season with the score tied or within 1 basket.
Okay.
Think about that. He was 0 for 10. Think about this. Dallas was 0 for 18 in those situations because Dallas has been a terrible clutch shooting team down the stretch.
Yep.
Can't close games. In clutch time possessions, Dallas ranked 25th in the NBA. So this is like a 1,000,000-to-1 shot by a guy who, by the way, for those who have lost touch and have gone completely over the edge with this one shot, they couldn't stop Luka. Baloney, they couldn't stop Luka. They stopped him down the stretch of regulation. He did not score a basket for the last almost 3 minutes of the game because Kawhi Leonard took him and Kawhi Leonard stopped him. I didn't see any conga lines to the basket. Help me out. Did he score a point in the last 3 minutes of the game? Help me out. Show me. If you can show me a basket, the Clippers went on a 10-2 run and should have taken the game back after giving up a 33-point run to the Clippers because the Clippers were up 21 in the second quarter and fell all the way to 12 behind in the fourth quarter. I've never seen anything like it. You want to talk about taking the foot off the gas? And here came Dallas, and I thought, well, they're going to choke in the clutch because they always do.
Correct.
And they did. But the Clippers couldn't quite get there because Kawhi Leonard is not a great last shot taker or maker. But I told you that. I told you that from the start. I told you that in his San Antonio days. I'm on record. I didn't second guess. I first guessed this from the start. I told you last year. He's made one of those in his life, and it took 4 bounces from the corner to drop through against the Sixers, who just got eliminated and swept yesterday by Boston. So the point is, on the last play of the game, you're talking about a guy who during the regular season ranked 140th of 147 three-point shooters. He shot 31.6% during the regular season. It was horrendously bad. He's also a very poor free throw shooter. He's not quite as bad as LeBron James, but he's getting there. And by the way, he has now missed the most free throws has Luka Doncic in the playoffs so far. He's missed the most, 13. So you can't trust him at the late game free throw line, and you definitely can't trust him shooting three-point shots, especially to win games. 0 for 10, Dallas 0 for 18 in those situations. So what happens?
Yeah, what happened?
Once again, as I pointed out on Twitter, and I'm sure people were retweeting to you or sending it to you or whatever they do to you. I don't know what they do. I don't follow anybody. I don't even know how it works.
Why do you care what people do on Twitter?
But the point is, how was Reggie Jackson even in the game? How was he even in the game? People are going to say, no, I said it. I called it on Twitter immediately. Why is he in the game? Reggie Jackson, during the regular season, ranked in defensive win shares 235, 235th. Help me out. Doc, help me. Why was he in the game?
Who would you have preferred?
Give me Jermichael Green. Give me somebody bigger, because guess who he lined up on? As they lined up to bring the ball in with 3.7 seconds, not a lot of time, so something's going to have to happen pretty quickly, right?
Yep.
So what happens? You got Kawhi lined up on Luka face-to-face. Then you got, what? 6'3" Reggie Jackson on Kleba, who is 6'10"? Is that a smart move? I don't even know what that was. Then you got Paul George at 6'8" lined up on little Seth Curry, who was killing them between him and Trey Burke. My God, they couldn't miss a shot. So I'll go with 6'8", Paul George on 6'2". But Marcus Morris winds up on Tim Hardaway Jr. That's big on sort of medium size. And Landry Shamet, who's a much better defender than Reggie Jackson at 6'4", much better. Okay. He is lined up on Dorian Finney-Smith, who is taking the ball in. If you wound up with Shamet on Luka, I'll be okay with that, because at least he's 6'4", and he will fight you on defense. Nobody ever accused Reggie Jackson of defending anybody in Oklahoma City or Detroit or with the Clippers, who picked him up, obviously, at midseason.
Correct.
So the point is, the other thing that drives me nuts about the Clippers, because they're so proud of their defense, we can switch everything because we have multiple pieces. We're all the same. We can switch. Don't switch anything. You can't switch on Luka. There's one guy who can stop him, and his name is Kawhi Leonard, former Defensive Player of the Year. You cannot switch. You cannot go under. You have to go over the screens on Luka, especially with 3.7 seconds left. You just say, Kawhi, go over the screen. Whatever happens, fight through the screen. You got him till death do you part at the end of this game. And all of a sudden, 6'3", they just switch it like easy. Kleba just goes and stands, and Kawhi goes, okay, I give up. I'll go underneath. Now it's ball game, because you got 6'3" on 6'7" Luka Doncic. So he's going to get a clean shot off, even if it's the shot he doesn't want to shoot. But at that
that's the shot he
point,
wanted to shoot.
no, why would you want to shoot it? He's been terrible. By the way, just for a matter of fact, in this one game, he had already shot 3 air balls.
Yes.
Who shoots 3 air balls from 3? Nobody does. He is the prince of air balls.
Yes.
Luka Doncic leads the league in air ball shooting from 3. So what are the odds on the last shot? Well, if you give him a really open look, because a little man's on him, maybe you got a better chance. If you got the long arm of the law, the claw on him, maybe the claw gets up and it's going a little sideways. Maybe he airballs on the claw. Instead, it's Reggie Jackson, and he arcs it and he swishes it. More power to him, but it is a 1,000,000-to-1 shot. Everything I just detailed, it cannot happen, and it did happen, and all of a sudden it's 2-2, and my bottom line is, I predicted this was going to go 7. You laughed at me. This team is really good on offense. They didn't even have the unicorn yesterday, and they're still really, really good on offense, because Trey Burke and Seth Curry were shooting them out of the gym, as well as Luka.
So in other words, what you cut me off when I said people will make it about Reggie Jackson is the very point that you outlined.
Nobody made it except me. I didn't see anybody making it. Okay? So
my point is that they can't stop Luka. You want to talk about the last 3 points, but what about the other 40? Who did he get that other 40 on? Did Kawhi not have him 1 point in time during regulation?
Maybe a couple times, but he just said, give him to me down the stretch.
What about Paul George? Did Paul George have him at any point down the stretch?
I didn't see him take him one time, mostly Marcus Morris.
What about during the course of the game?
I didn't see much.
If you watch the game in its entirety, they take turns. Mainly it is Marcus Morris, but Paul George will get him, Kawhi will take him, and he's cooking everybody. Guess who else is cooking everybody? Trey Burke, Seth Curry, Dorian Finney-Smith, Tim Hardaway Jr., they can get whatever they want whenever they want. You keep telling me this great defensive team led by a defensive-minded head coach, and they get whatever they want whenever they want it. Skip Bayless, did you realize you keep talking about, well, he didn't even score in the last 3 minutes? The last 3 possessions of overtime, when your defense, see, I say this all the time. The mark of any great offense or defense, can you get done what you need to get done when you absolutely have to? It doesn't tell me anything. Yes, they had the highest offensive efficiency in the NBA history, but they lost more 1-possession, 2-possession games than anybody else. What good is that high offensive rating if you can't score when you need to?
Good question.
But when they needed it yesterday, what did they get done? Got it done. Steph Curry had Paul George on skates. Trey Burks had Kawhi on skates. Tim Hardaway Jr. was getting to the rim. Conga line to the basket. Because I'm trying to figure out if a man 4-10, hold on. Make sure I get this right. Luka Doncic was 4-10 for 3-point shot, for 3-point lane. He had 18 made field goals. So where did the other 14 come from? They ain't free throws, right? So in other words, he's getting whatever he wants, whenever he wants, however he wants.
Did you see them double him one time the whole game?
No, Skip, that's not the game. I get it. You and I have been talking about this.
Pride, as the Bible says, goeth before the fall.
Remember,
as in fall on your face.
Remember we talked about this last week? Doc, the Mavericks go on this large run, and Doc standing on the sideline like he had the 92 Olympics and won't call timeout. Oh, we got this. Who got with? Okay, you got this. Skip Bayless, you said LeBron James runs from shots. Here's Luka Doncic had, as you mentioned, he airballed one, but he's
three.
He's not afraid of the moment. He's not afraid of